Darth Vader. Once a heroic Jedi Knight, Darth Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force, became a Sith Lord, and led the Empire's eradication of the Jedi Order. He remained in service of the Emperor for decades, enforcing his master's will and seeking to crush the Rebel Alliance. Welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today's episode we are introducing and reviewing the bad boy of the Sith himself, Darth Vader. Now this guy's been sitting on my shelf as well as with all the other characters that are worthy of a review. I've got some up there that I reckon probably could be combined into one review, but Darth Vader himself needs a review purely on his own. Now, wherever you come from, even if you don't even know Star Wars, you know who Darth Vader is. Even if you don't even know what Star Wars is, you see a Stormtrooper, even though he's all dressed in white, you'll probably still say, that's Darth Vader. But it's not. This is Darth Vader. This is the guy that terrorised me when I was a kid. When I was 4 years old, I went into a toy shop and there was a guy dressed as this guy. So it'd have been about 85. And the guy wasn't 85, it was the year 85, and it was in there, and he's just looking at me, and he just pointed at me right from the other side of the toy shop. I literally just ran outside and sat back in my pushchair. This guy absolutely scared me. But as years gone on, I've grown to get the coolness of this character now, and when I used to do the 501st, going out with their Darth Vaders, I used to love the guys that used to dress up as Darth Vader, and they reach around to the back of their belt and they turn on that sound, and then literally that character is just, it's no longer a guy, it's the Dark Lord of the Sith himself. He's so badass, like when he's walking around, you know, you just can't help but just know that who this character is and how cool he is. So here he is. This is the 40th anniversary edition of Darth Vader. I know there's another Darth Vader out there, and there's also the Darth Vader where he's being sort of electrocuted. But this is the 40th anniversary that was re-released on the Black Series kind of card. I think that's how it works. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that's how it is. So apparently this is the best Darth Vader that you can get that's out there. So here he is. He comes with one accessory, which that's all you need, unless you want a ton of dead like Imperial officers around him. But here he is. So he comes with his normal, just red lightsaber, and we just get a stand, which is a nice bright red, all the way through to his hilt. And again, the actual paint effects on this lightsaber is done really nicely. You've got all these sort of silver parts all in the right places, and the gold just on that little button peg there. And yeah, it's just done incredible well to detail. And the lightsaber is removable as always, and it's quite a nice little peg as well. It's not jammed in there and it feels like you're going to snap it. It just pops out. And here we got a little loop on the side of his belt. It's a bit different to the others. It's not on the bottom, it's just on the side of it, and that can attach to his belt. However, this is one of my little downside of this guy, that this is made of a really sort of kind of rubbery material, and when you pull it on there, it just kind of sort of doesn't even clip on properly, because you want to pop it through the hole and it doesn't, it just pops back up. I've tried sort of putting glue on there as well, just to try and sort of harden it, I guess, but yeah, it just doesn't sit on there right, and you know it's just going to ping off. So I always put this in my little accessory drawer if I need the guy to just stand there and look menacing. And here he is. So that's his accessories, and next thing we can go through is his sculpt. Now, I've had a few Darth Vaders in the past that I think you know, they just don't really get that look right. So just for comparisons really, I've got a Darth Vader from the Elite line, which is this guy here. And I've got a Darth Vader from the 3.75 line that I've had for quite a while. He's a little Hasbro guy. I don't know which one he is, but he's got a removable helmet on there. And I really like this guy. He's done really well. But the Disney Elite, yeah, even when I got him out of the box, I just thought, no, that's not my Vader. You can just see by his head, it's just very strange looking. The top bit's just chucked on top. It's just too high. It's not low enough. We've got these sort of armour bits around here, and the shoulder parts are not painted. And it just, like, his legs look like they're just too baggy. It's just, yeah, it just doesn't look nice. And it even didn't look nice when he's on the shelf. But that was him. But this little guy, you know, I thought he was great. I adored him. He was one of my little sort of Darth Vader guys I had in front of loads of little stormtroopers back when I had a few 3.75s. And his helmet is just removable on there. And it comes in 2 parts, but I won't show that off. But yeah, he was kind of sort of like my pinnacle sort of Darth Vader back then. But I think Hasbro have done really well on this one. And I know there's that other one out there they call like the puppy dog eyes, where he's got a removable helmet. But I think this guy, he's done, you know, kudos to Hasbro on this one. I think, to me, when I look at him, I think, yeah, that's a good sculpt of Darth Vader. So anyway, we go over his articulation and we go through that way. So he doesn't really have a head rocker, which you imagine he wouldn't at all really. It's just kind of ball joint, so he can go left and right. His arms come up and they got a rotation at the shoulder, and then we've got a rotation at the elbow, and then we've got a single jointed elbow, and that goes to a 90 degree. It's got a rotation at the wrist, and this one goes up and down, and also this one goes up and down, which is good because that's like a lightsaber hand. And this one you can just manipulate into that kind of sort of like choking hold. So he's got like a rotation a little bit at the waist, and he hasn't really got an ab crunch, unfortunately. So, but it's the kind of way Darth Vader stands. He's kind of sort of very sort of straight. He doesn't really sort of bend over much. He's kind of more sort of leans. So his legs can come out this far. He's got rotation at the top, and he's got a rotation at the top of the thigh, which is quite tight because it's quite so close to the groinal area. He's got a double jointed knee that comes up. You can't really get it because he's got such big thighs, but there we go. So there's that one, and he's got a rocker and a pivot, and that's his articulation. So it's kind of basic for a Black Series figure, but also he doesn't really have to move that much to really get that Vader-esque off. I mean, I've done quite a few pictures of him sort of dueling with old Obi-Wan Kenobi, fighting young Luke Skywalker, like fighting with one hand, two hand, choking. You know, he can do all that, and he's a great Darth Vader. So we can go over his sculpt as well, and his helmet. It's just very reminiscent, and this is all based on the A New Hope Darth Vader. So he's got those sort of red eye lenses just there, and it's just subtle enough as well. I hate it when they do too much red, and it's like you don't really see it on the screen, but it's just there enough, and it's just subtle. And then we've got the robe that goes over the armor, and then we've got his little buttons into his belt, and we've got all the sort of body undersuit as well. It's all done nicely, and under the cape all comes over. You've got the back of the belt as well, and the armour sort of goes to just here, so it kind of looks like a clip over his shoulders. And he's got his nice gloss gloves with a bit of ribbon on the side, and he's also got the same on the other hand, but he's got that nice kind of sort of reaching out grip hold. He's got his sort of codpiece, which is a bit like a kind of leather-esque there, with all his buttons and dooblies on his belt. And yeah, the robe goes all the way down to his legs, and again he got that kind of sort of undersuit, sort of kind of like a sort of fire protection kind of suit, it always reminds me of, and it goes down to his nice gloss shin boots, which is just over his other boots, just there. So there he is, the bad boy of the Sith, Darth Vader. Now, as you've seen on some of my other videos, I had a friend who gifted me some figures back in the past, and he gave me Darth Vader, which is absolutely really nice of him. But also it's coming up for my birthday, and my other half bought me Darth Vader because he was about £11, I think, at then. I think around that price you're still looking around, but he might be going up in price because, to be honest, even when I've been looking, coming to think of it, I haven't seen many Vaders about. But she got me a second version of this character, which is here. But I thought instead of having two of the same, obviously Vader sort of changed his armour through the time, so I kind of based this one on the Return of the Jedi look. So I've just silvered off his mask just a little bit more there, and I actually darkened his eyes to a sort of like a lighter grey kind of gloss, just enough to coat the eyes. I'll just do a side by side comparison, and yeah, I sort of silvered these bits a little bit more. And then what I did with this one, I just pulled the robe off a little bit and then tucked it under his armour, so now he's got the under armour on there. And as you notice on the chest box as well, his box is slightly different, so he's got a blue button, a red button, loads of greys, and then a red. And then he has sort of like, he's got like a bit of red inside those sort of like coin slots there, with a bit of Arabish Star Wars writing just underneath. So I've just done a little bit of squiggle of a little bit of white there. And yeah, I mean, I think it just works. It just makes him just look enough different. And then I've got one to fight Obi-Wan, I've got one to fight Luke. And yeah, I just absolutely love these characters. But also a little while back, I got the bootleg Luke Skywalker figure arts for Return of the Jedi Luke, which he wasn't all that great, to be honest. So I'm going to hopefully wait for a Return of the Jedi Luke for them to redo it. But it did come with a Darth Vader helmet, well, a removed helmet for the Darth Vader figure arts. And what I've done, I just dremelled out the bottom. So the good thing about this Darth Vader, his head can just pop off just nicely, and it's just like it's kind of a bit of a squidgy old plastic. Reminds me of the old He-Man heads. And yeah, it's just got the ball point there. So I've just dremelled it out enough that I can just pull it on there, and it kind of suits, kind of fits. And yeah, I think to be honest, it just looks alright. So I just got a removable helmet for this Darth Vader, which is splendid. So guys, that was my review of my Darth Vader on my shelf. What do you guys think? Do you like my new improved Darth Vader? Let me know in the comments down below. You can follow me on Instagram. You can subscribe if you like. And I'll see you next time. Bye.